Well, anyways. Hola, amigas, amigos y amigas,
Hello,
comadres, ¿cómo
hello.
están? Welcome to Barrio Bitches podcast, where Ricky and I just talk about anything and everything.
Anyone. Mm-hmm. Totally. What have you been thinking about? What have you been doing? What's going on?
So I'm trying to get out more, just because, working from home is just so easy to just stay at home.
Yes.
And honestly, I love my couch and I love watching TV and I love doom scrolling. I like to get 10 milligrams of happy and then take a chill night. But also I feel like it can get kind of tiring.
Yeah.
So this past week we went out to, my husband and I went out to grab a drink. We went to Sign Bar and I wanted to go because it's I had never been, and I got the impression that it's nostalgic Austin. You see signs of all the places that have, existed here. Okay. So we went. It was probably on us that we went on a Wednesday night. So not that busy, but then we get there, we get our cocktails. I got a frozen drink, and they have food. So we're like, okay, let's have some food, which is technically not their food. It's a truck or a vendor and whatever. And so I got some wings, and my wings were really, really cold that I was like, the CDC would not let me eat this.
Cold as in, okay, they were cooked, just cold.
Yes.
So that means they were pre-made and they reheat them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's not great.
And
how much were they in this economy for cold wings?
I think they were $14.
See, no, unacceptable.
Y eran 5 wings. Y yo como que, ugh.
And I think we talked about this too. I was like, did you have the millennial urge not to say anything?
Well, I didn't want to say anything. This is how it exactly went down. I told Ricardo, I don't want to eat, these are cold. I'm feeling weird. So he took a bite of one too. I think together we ate one because we're trying to figure out, is this good? And then he was like, no, that's cold. You shouldn't be eating that.
Should have made a scene.
Who knows how long it's been sitting out?
Flip the table over. What the fuck?
So
made a scene.
Me, I will never send anything back. My husband will.
Right.
So he's like, do you want me to say something? And I'm like, no, it's okay. I don't want to stress them out. I don't want to bug them. And whatever, he ate his burger, which he was like, okay, this isn't as cooked as I want it to be. And so after that, we're paranoid. We're going to get
sick.
Food poisoning. We're going to get sick.
Yeah.
But when he goes to close out the tab, he leans over and I was like, oh no. He told the bartender, and she was like, oh no, thanks for thanks for saying that's so gross. So she, because it was from a food truck, it wasn't part of the bar, so she just comped us a drink, the equivalent.
Oh, okay.
And
totally.
It was nice, but it was very all right, let's get out of here.
Right.
Not worth it.
The vibes were not there.
And there was a haunted house, but it was closed. Again, that's probably on us for going on a Wednesday, where it's not really popping, and it was pretty far from us.
So, and I think because I was invited, by the way, I just couldn't go. I didn't go.
Honestly,
but
you saved yourself.
But your experience was probably different. I'm assuming you saw this on social media.
Yes.
So when you saw it on social media, what was the vibe?
Well, I also social media, yes, but some of my friends, I saw on their stories that they went and they had cocktails and they just looked at spooky stuff there, the decorations, and that just wasn't what my experience was. And I was like, ugh. Also, if it wasn't as far, I probably wouldn't have been as bummed out, because if you're oh, I just checked out a bar, but
yeah,
it didn't take me 20 minutes to get there.
Well, we've been exploring East Austin, it seems this past week, because we also went to another bar this week that was pretty far east. So when my partner picked me up, he was like, I thought, I didn't think I was ever going to get to the place. It felt so far away.
Oh, yes. That was shout out to, was it Sahara Lounge?
Sahara Lounge.
They had a Bad Bunny event called Debí Tirar Más Culo,
Mm-hmm.
which was honestly, tell me there's a Bad Bunny night anywhere and I am there.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
it
I mean,
was
it
great.
was great. I mean, at first when we got there, it was pretty empty, not a lot going on, but it filled up pretty
we
quickly.
got there before the DJ.
And I like, yeah, and I like that there was like a variety of people. You had like straight, gay, white, Latino, black. Everybody was in there. Asian. Like,
Yeah.
it was a vibe.
It was
Like,
a
I
lot
haven't
of
been
fun.
there in years.
I love seeing white people try to dance to like reggaeton.
Oh, that one girl with the jean shorts. She was like pulling random people to dance with her. And then that one woman who came up to you and was like, "Girl, what are you doing sitting down?" And then later on, I don't know if you noticed, but she had some Latino guy with her. He was all up on her body.
Well, good for them.
But okay, maybe this is judgmental.
All right.
Okay.
What is it?
What I find interesting is personality really gets you a long way. And I know that sounds like a read. I wouldn't say this woman was particularly beautiful. She had a nice body, but like, it's interesting how like being the life of the party can really get you dick. Do you know what I mean?
Well, isn't it the whole thing where like people are attracted to your confidence and to your, like whatever, you can look however you can look.
Yeah.
You look whatever. But I think at the end of the day, when somebody's asking somebody, oh, like why did you like them? They're gonna say like, oh, like they were really cool. Their personality was great.
Yeah.
They were like the life of the party.
Yeah.
And their confidence. And I feel like I've heard that. Like I feel like people have told my husband that they admire my confidence, and I'm like, is that a read?
You're like, are you calling me ugly? You're like, I'm beautiful first of all.
First of all.
Then confident.
Second of all, confident. Third of all, the life of the party.
Right.
Fourth of all, a
Bad
barrio bitch.
Yeah. Shout out Barrio Bitches. Yeah, no, I just think that's super interesting because like, I don't know, I guess I think we talked about this. Like I've always been very self-conscious about like the way that I look or like that I don't look a certain way. But then you do see other people like around you and maybe they're not the most attractive, but they tend to be like people who are like in relationships or, they get like, they go on, they're just taken care of by these men or whatever. And you're like, well, where's that coming from? And it really is confidence, it seems like. Yeah.
Good for them. No, but then, okay, so speaking of also just going out, so we left Sign Bar and we were like, ugh, this was so disappointing. So then while I was still hungry, I was like, I didn't even eat my wings. So I just said, let's go to the east side. Let's go to a taco truck. And so we went to Taco Way. It's on E6. Well, I'm assuming there's several, but one was on E6, like by Latchkey or something like that. We get there, we eat a taco. I got a pirata, but then again, a white person comes up and goes, "Can I have a parada?" And I was like, "What?"
You're like that's crazy.
It made me laugh because I was like, I've never heard anybody say parada. Then we ended up at Volstead, and it was a karaoke night. And so I'm all like, "Oh, I want to sit down. I want to watch. I don't think my husband was that into it. He was like, all right, whatever. So we just kind of sat there and we get like a couple drinks. So then finally get the courage and I sign up to do Killing Me Softly by the Fugees. And then a second one was Confessions Part 2 by Usher. I think by the time I was like, maybe I had like 3 drinks and I was like, I need to get brave. And so by the end, I was just having fun.
Totally. I mean, you are the karaoke diva. Like, we did go to karaoke for your bachelorette party.
Oh my God. My bachelorette, yes. That one is funny because the line was so long that by the time they called my name, I was already drunk.
And we were like, I think when they called you, we left after. That's how long we were there for.
We were just waiting for me to go on.
And it was so hard to get a table, too. This was at Egos,
which
Yes.
I had never been to before.
Yeah.
I guess it's just a karaoke bar in general. I'd be down to go again.
Yeah.
But I feel like not a lot of people like to karaoke.
Yeah.
Or if they do, they like private karaoke.
Yeah, I think I'm one of those people who I'm not into karaoke. My dream would be to open a lip sync bar. I think I've told you this. Where instead of like you going up and singing, you would pick a song that you would lip sync to. And There would be like a bar there. There would be like potentially wigs or costumes. And so it's for the people like me who maybe don't want to sing, but maybe want to like sing their favorite song.
Yeah.
And I would call it lip sync. And then the neon lights on the outside would have like a pair of lips and like a sync. I think that'd be cute. Maybe one day.
All right. If we have any investors out there.
And I'm trademarking that, you bitches.
Reach out to us at barriobitchespod@gmail.com.
And I mean, I wish I was that kind of person who felt like free enough to do that. But, and here's the thing, like if you're in a group of people who all don't sing well, it's probably feels more comforting. But
yeah.
I think we underestimate how many people can actually sing really, really well.
Yes.
You know what I mean? In secret too. Like not everybody wants to be a star, but some people do have the pipes to like, you know, like they can hold a tune.
And they like grew up doing something that like helped them. Like
yeah, totally.
Like Arlene, I believe she was in choir, and I think she's a really good singer. And she loves to karaoke, and I'm like, I get it because you're a really good singer.
Right.
Arlene doesn't have this opinion, but I feel like I have met some people who do sing and who do like to sing that don't like karaoke because they're also like karaoke is like for people who can't sing.
There's like
it's like I take
yeah.
singing too seriously to do
Right.
karaoke, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I'm like, can't we just have fun?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you've seen this video of Charlie XCX talking about how she doesn't karaoke, and if she does, it's usually like rap music, because she's like, girl, I use autotune. Like I'm not gonna sing karaoke. But I love that she's admitting like and I think Grimes did this too. She's like, I'm not a live music singer. Like my music is best heard like with like,
headphones.
With headphones.
Really?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I appreciate that because like I feel like we expect, maybe rightfully so, every artist to like just be a great singer. But sometimes some people are just really good at making music, not necessarily being good singers. You know what I mean? Maybe there's a difference between creating music and singing, I guess.
Yeah, like Taylor Swift.
I mean, I'm not a hater, but I'm not a fan, so I should probably just not say anything.
Oh, I'm a hater. I am.
Thoughts on
What
the
is
new
it?
album?
If Taylor Swift has 50 haters, I'm one of them. Taylor Swift has no haters, that means I'm dead. Like
what I don't like about the cult around her is the like apologist stuff. Like,
well, yeah. Okay, so when this fucking ¿Cómo se llama her album? The Dead Poet Society? No, the new one.
Something showgirl, was it?
Yes.
Memoirs of a Showgirl? Something like that? Yeah.
Memoirs, yeah, something like that.
Which to me, I'm like, I feel like she was inspired by that Pamela Anderson movie where she was the last showgirl.
I think that and Renaissance.
His next cowboy album.
Well, I mean, her lane was country. Is it true that she had a fake accent? I feel like I haven't gone back enough to see like.
So, because she's originally from the East Coast, she's not even from.
So, okay,
right?
What I have
she
not done...
She grew up on a Christmas tree farm. Is that for real? That's what I heard.
Not
like
us inventing the lore of Taylor Swift. Well, okay, so I... Even with this whole new album stuff, I don't know it from the Taylor perspective. I know it from the haters' perspective. Because I was seeing everybody's takes on her album on TikTok. And so, like, from that is how I'm learning things about her, because they're like, I don't know, like dragging her. And so I'm just, so I think the lore is that she wasn't born, like she moved to Tennessee.
Yeah, that's what I understood.
To like be country and then like enter mainstream through that, because it was the easiest thing for her to do. 'Cause she's like a white girl with like curly hair, like a blue-eyed white girl with curly hair. And so country was like the first thing she could easily slip into. And then that's like leading to everything else. And so what I see people give her props for is for like lyricism and like wordplay, or like elevating her lyrics, like how they have like double, triple meanings or whatever. But also it's all the same personality, where it's like she's the oldest high schooler, you know?
Yeah. The trad wife.
And so now the criticism is that she has skipped the entire like, let me be a baddie, let me be free, let me be like,
I don't need a man.
Yeah. In the way that like Miley Cyrus and whatever other artists like shed their good girl persona, Taylor Swift just went from I'm the victim getting my heart broken to I'm a trad wife.
Like I succeeded. I triumphed. And you can too. And
for her to be like, I want the neighborhood to look like you. And I don't know. I honestly don't know lyrics, but
Wait, what? Say
I
that
think
again?
that's a lyric where she tells, because I think she's talking about what's his face, the footballer, and
Travis Kelce.
yes, and so she says something like, I can't wait to have the whole neighborhood looking like you. Like it's like her wanting to have his babies.
But it sounds very.
But it sounds, yeah, exactly, and that's what
Yeah.
people are clocking.
Right. Totally.
And so that's what her fans are like. That's not what she meant. That's not what she meant. So it's like, okay, so what is she? Is she the best lyricist of all time that everything has meaning, or she doesn't know?
Right. No, I mean, totally. I think it's that like victimhood that pisses people off, which is kind of what I was saying about like she does something that maybe is not great, like having a private jet or whatever. And then these little girls are like, well, she needs to have a private jet because, you know, her life is in danger and she's had stalkers. It's like, well, there's been other artists who've had that happen as well. What you were mentioning, that transition into country, how it was kind of like they just opened the floodgates for her. Whereas with Beyonce, who has maybe like more of a cultural tie to country,
so
they
she's
crucified
not country
her.
enough.
They crucified her for that. Yeah.
Because I've been in conversations with people, not my friends, I would say just people that I like meet, and I'm like, oh hey, and then we talk about music, and then we're talking about like artists, and for me to say, oh I love Beyonce, or for me to say, oh I love Bad Bunny, immediately there's like a ugh.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like one time somebody told me all Beyonce does is just yell, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
That is interesting language.
This was a white man. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask. I mean, and we can cut this out, but were the demographics typically swaying one way or another whenever like the reactions?
I guess so. I guess in the two occasions that I'm thinking of right now, it was like two white men that were like, one was like, Beyonce doesn't sing, she just yells, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And then the other one was like right around when Cowboy Carter came out, and I was like, I love that album, I love that country album, and my joke was like, I only like country for that one album, and then the response I got was like, yeah, but that's not country.
Which I have a problem with, because I feel like country, like there's different kinds of country. There's like Dolly Parton, and then there's Taylor Swift. Like how can you be like, well, Taylor Swift is country?
No, and then
like,
there's that
so
fucking
different.
Australian guy. ¿Cómo se llama? Is it Keith Urban?
Oh,
Nicole
yeah.
Kidman's.
Well, then also, what's her face? I feel like a woman. She's Canadian.
Shania
Twain. Like, so what is country? I just feel like maybe
Country's
there's like
everybody but Beyonce.
Maybe there's subgenres, but like no one ever talks about what the subgenres are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas like with rap, there's different kinds of rap.
And it's like country is only when white people do
it's
it.
a monolith, supposedly. Yeah.
Well, I guess what do they call the Taylor Swift fans? The Swifties might be coming for us
They're
in this one.
unsubscribing at this
But
very
that
moment.
was my hot take.
Yeah. I have not listened to it, and I don't plan to.
I don't plan to either.
Kind of speaking about like culture, my partner and I, we went to the Barton Creek Mall yesterday, which I know people are saying that malls are dying, but it was fucking packed. It really was. Like, I don't know if that's just a Texas thing, but every time I go to the malls, even in the Valley too, like there's always people at the mall. So that's why it's shocking to me that in certain parts of the country, like malls are dying. Not here. Latinos love a mall, I think.
They do.
They really do.
I haven't been to the mall like in my hometown in a long time, but I feel like that's what the kids do. I don't know, or maybe not. Do the kids the kids still going to the mall to buy a mocha frappuccino and walk around?
Speaking of the children, while we were at the mall, because I broke my glasses. I sat down on them. I don't have glasses right now. I was going to get some new ones. So we went to Warby Parker at the mall. While we were there, we saw a quinceañera.
Okay.
And she was there with her chambelanes.
Oh, because they eat there, no?
Well, they go and take pictures. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, was like the mystique of the quinceañera and kind of all that money that's put into the dress. And then typically you will see a lot of quinceañeras go to the mall. Mm-hmm. Or I think my sister, because we have like a convention center in McAllen it's got like a little artificial lake and a fountain. I think they went there. This idea of like, okay, like I'm a princess and I'm going to go around and show off. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, when else are you going to wear that dress again?
Exactly. And I really loved it because I saw this white woman and her little daughter, and the white woman was like, look, like it was like a princess to the little girl, I think. And I thought that was really sweet. But of course, my fiance had some snarky, because it was like a mint green dress, and all the champetlanes were wearing jeans with a white button down, and then the vest in the mint, and then with the broccoli hair. You know what I mean, with the botas too. You have to wear the boots. He's like, that's just the color I want, spearmint. I'm like, you are such a bitchy faggot, and I can say that. I was just like, leave her alone. Like, she's living her life, you know.
Well, okay, it's interesting. I mean, it's. I think it's cool that we've gotten away from, and maybe not without like knowing the history, like off the top of my head, that we've deviated from like either the white or the light pink color, and everybody's just doing their favorite colors.
Totally.
I never had a quinceañera.
That's gonna be my question.
And like I didn't have a quinceañera because there were other things going on in our family at the time that it was just it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I feel like
did you dream about having one?
I don't think
was there an
did.
expectation of like, was your mom ever like, oh, I'm saving up for it, or like, did she have one?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I just like didn't ever like naturally get excited about one.
Right.
I went to some in high school, which were really fun, and I was like, oh, this would be cool. I entertained the idea of like, oh, what if I had one? But no, like I never really wanted one in that way. But who knows? Maybe when I turn 40, I'll throw myself a quinceañera.
Well, that's been a big thing I've been seeing too, is a lot of adults healing their inner child, throwing themselves quinceañeras, especially queer people. So I'm a big fan of a lot of content creators from Mexico who are trans women. So one of the most notable one is Wendy Guevara. Mm-hmm. I don't know if she's like the first trans woman to win a reality TV in Mexico, but I think she is.
Big Brother, right?
La Casa de los Famosos.
Oh, is it like
it's like Big Brother?
Yeah.
They probably didn't get the rights for Big Brother or something, but I think she may be one of the first or few trans women who've won a reality TV show like that, maybe globally. I'm not sure. I need to fact check that. But so there's quite a few content creators, and one of them is named Iran Serranos, and like a few weeks ago, and I think he identifies as he, but he does drag. He threw himself a quinceañera. It was a production. She had chambelanes, she had a wardrobe change, the hair, the makeup, the everything. Like I think even in the salon, they had like, you know, those like sparklers that come up like that. She even had that.
Well, some of those things, maybe not the sparklers, but some of those things for me came to fruition on my wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So
you had the big dress.
My big dress, which was like a skirt that I took off. Honestly, just like wearing that dress.
Yeah.
And I think it was a little nerve-wracking to be like, everybody's looking at me. But then also I was like, shit, everybody's looking at me. Hell yeah. Like I had my hair, my makeup. I felt so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, so my sister had a quinceañera, and I feel like, I don't know what was the attraction for. I think my sister just like super girly. Like she just always knew she was going to have one. And so I think my mom like knew that was going to happen, but it was like, it's expensive.
I would assume so.
The dress, the salon. And then, you do have padrinos to pay for things, but I had a cousin where I think my tia was like, you can get a quinceañera or we can take you on a trip. Can you imagine? That's the equivalent, a quinceañera or a trip somewhere. And I think, so one of my cousins, she chose the quinceañera, and I think she wore a purple dress, actually. My sister wore pink. She went like real traditional. But my cousin's sister, so my other cousin, she ended up picking the trip, and I think they ended up going to Italy or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah. But yeah, quinceañeras, which I kind of looked into like the history about it, and I kind of want to like look into some, because I went to Wikipedia and I looked at I even went to like quinceañera.com, and they give you the history of the quinceañera, but I'm like, where are your sources? Cite your sources.
Wikipedia.
So apparently this stems from like Mesoamerica. There was some sort of rite of passage for like, I don't know if it was just young women, maybe it would have been young men too, that once they go through puberty, there's this like rite of passage, just like this introduction as like, oh, you're a woman now.
Yeah, like this, like you are now, the next step is for you to like, find your husband and start your own family. Totally. That has always been my understanding of it. It's like, that's why the song like La Última Muñeca, tearjerker.
Yeah. There's some like creepy parts of
Well,
the
okay, it's
quinceañera
like
that like are weird, and even sweet 16s too. I was looking into this too. Like there is some sort of I have to ask my partner's sister if she had a sweet 16 and what that was like, because apparently there's this ceremony that some people do in America when you're sweet 16 where like your father switches out your shoes for you, which I think that's kind of weird.
from what to what?
I think it's like supposed to be like slippers to like
A stiletto.
something like that, which is kind of strange. I mean, the idea that like at 15, 16 you're a woman. I mean, I don't know, maybe biologically you are,
Well,
I guess.
Biologically, it's like when you go through puberty, because it's like,
Right.
oh, because now you can have kids. Like now, I feel like that's what that is. But like, we're still kids. Oh, and this brings me to just how like culturally there are still, around the world there's still child brides.
Yes.
And my story around that is that in 2016 we went to San Luis to see family, and I hadn't been there since I was like a child. So, uncles, aunts, they were like, "Oh my God, like
You're an
ya estás
adult.
bien grande."
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it was kind of like a little bit of a culture shock to me, because we were there during like a celebration in the summer, and that meant that there was like a little fair, there was like vendors and everything. And so my mom and I would spend the day just hanging out with family, and then at night we would get ready to go to the fair and stuff. And I would see these like really young, I would say at the time I was 24, so I would see like what I clearly saw were younger than me, like girls, women, whatever, in there hanging out. And then my brother explained to me what was going on, because they're all just kind of standing there, and the men are just kind of like walking around. And he was like, "Yeah, men here typically choose like which one they're just gonna take home, and that's their wife." And I was like, "What?" Which then made sense that when I saw my uncles and they were like, "Oh, like, mija, how are you?" Like whatever, like greeting me and everything, and asking me like, "Oh, you look so big. Like, how old are you?" And me being like, "Oh, I'm 24, tengo 24." And then them being like, "Oh, pues ya estás grande."
What would your brother say to you?
Okay, ya estoy ruca. He's like, "Ya estás ruca." And I'd be like, "What?" And so that was like the mentality that at 24, being single at 24 in a small town like that was like, what is it? Old maid. Like,
right.
Who's going to want you kind of thing. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So my uncles were like, "Oh, well, you already, ya estás grande? Like, what's going on? Where's the husband? Where's the kids?" And I'd be like, "What?" And then that's how, I found out that some of our tios just picked up our tias and then never took them back home. And that was, pero eran otros tiempos is what they say.
It's pretty shocking how in a lot of cultures that idea of like kidnapping a wife is like that's been common.
Yeah, or
it's
it was
crazy.
like, I think like my mom once mentioned like, oh, if the woman was like, okay, she's like 16, 17, and she's like seeing this guy, it's all innocent until she goes over to his place. And then after that, it's, yeah, that's it. That's the decision that you went to his place. Therefore, that's going to be your husband.
Yeah.
Because you have no more options after that. And so that still happened I would say like in my family, like in the last couple of generations, where like that's how you found out your aunts and uncles got together, or like your grandmother was, that's how your grandmother got married. And then that's when they say like, "Oh, but they were different times." And I'm like, I don't know. For me to still see this in 2016 in a small town in San Luis, yikes.
Yeah. Well, there's this, I'll have to find it, this TikTok of this woman who's pretending to be her mom, and I think she's Indian, or her grandma, and she's Indian. She's like, "Oh," she's like, "Grandma, tell me the story of like how you met Grandpa." She's like, "Well, I saw him and then he just kidnapped me.
Me robó.
And then he took me to their house, and they were like, 'You're not leaving until you get married.'" And I was like, "Okay." And then she's like, "Oh my God, call the police."
Yes, dude. You were like, can we report a kidnapping that happened 50, 60 years ago?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, so my mom told me an interesting story about my grandma. So apparently I I don't know if maybe you're familiar with this, but apparently like once they're engaged, my grandpa was expected, and my grandpa and his family were expected to like start supporting my grandma immediately from being engaged. So then her family would stop like paying for her meals, whatever, and then it was up to like my grandpa to start doing that immediately. Is that interesting?
Yeah. I mean, it's...
And this was so my grandma was born in 1950. I think she married at like 17. So this was 1960s something. And they were still doing these traditions. I mean, my grandma tells stories about how, because she grew up very poor, like of course they didn't have heating, which you would think, I mean, here in America, probably people did. It doesn't feel like that long ago, but she grew up very poor in Mexico. And like their only source of heat was like a chimney in the middle of the room. And there was no opening to the outside.
You're just like,
and this was in the 50s, dude, in Reynosa. That's crazy. I mean, yeah. And I remember also watching some videos of like Mexico in the 1930s or 40s. I was like looking at these different videos, and you see people like running around without shoes. No
and
shoes.
I think this ties to what we talked about before, in that it's really hard for me to throw away things because I remember things like that.
Yeah.
Or I know it's really hard for my mom to get rid of things because she remembers what it was growing up without much.
Right. Yeah.
Look at us. And that's on generational trauma.
Mm-hmm. Well, earlier you were making fun of the guy who ordered at the food truck, and what did he say again? What was the
Pirata,
meal?
which to my 956ers, we know it's a pirata, and we know where that's from. That's from Taco Palenque. But this was just like a food truck, which I'll tell you was not the same thing. What we ended up eating, like it's not the pirata you would expect. But yeah, this guy was like pirata, and I was like, oh, interesting.
Well, that kind of reminds me, just like I feel like it wasn't until I moved to Austin, like any Spanish word you would say, like you would say taco, you would say, like you would do the right pronunciation. I would say my name is Ricardo Rodriguez or whatever. But then coming here, like after all these years, I say taco. And I say my name is Ricardo Rodriguez. So it's interesting that like almost semi-permanent code switching that I do. Because when I go to the Valley, I say taco.
No, yeah. I remember hearing first like, oh, it's on Guadalupe. And I'm like, interesting, Guadalupe. Okay. And then I see the street and I'm like, oh, Guadalupe. Ah, okay. Like I didn't make those connections very, very
well, and then the buses too, they'll say like dropping off at Guadalupe. Yeah. Manchaca,
which I think they changed it. It was Manchaca, and I think now it's Manchaca. Like with an E.
Oh.
I feel like that happened.
Manchaca.
Or maybe this is what do you call it? When they say that you're misremembering something, but you're not. Like how there's a divide on whether or not Shazam was a movie. Yes, the Mandela effect. Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe it was always, but yeah, like I remember, and even now at work, I try not to code switch, but I feel like it just comes out naturally. But I will say my name in Spanish.
Well, because it does, I feel like over time it does get exhausting when people are like, what? Like when you pronounce something in Spanish. Like I remember, and shout out to my in-laws. I love them. But I remember one time I brought tamales from the Valley and I gave them some. And I was like, oh yeah, like I went ahead and brought you some tamales. And my father-in-law was like, what? And I said, tamales. He was like, oh, okay. Oh. I was like, okay.
But also, it's not that different. Like, y'all can try to speak Spanish, please.
Yeah.
And when I meet somebody at work that has a Spanish like name, I will say it properly. A couple of years ago, I had this coworker. We had our client. Our client was a white man. My coworker's name was Joaquin. So the client would call him Joaquin.
Okay, there's an actor named Joaquin Phoenix. He can't even make that connection.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So when we would be on the calls, he'd be like, I guess this was like his best effort. So he would greet him like Joaquin, like, hey, Joaquin. And so when I would pass the mic to him, I'd be like, oh, like Joaquin is going to go over. Like I would try to do that because it's, I just felt it was like so disrespectful that I'm like, okay, I can pronounce your name. I'm going to give you that respect that you deserve of like, okay, your name is Joaquin, not Joaquin. And I think it also just kind of hit close to home because my brother's name is Joaquin.
Right. I mean, and here's the thing is like, there are white people who have crazy names, like especially if they have like a Polish background where like their name is like Wachowski. That's spelled strangely.
I don't
but, like,
think I could spell it now.
But we've learned like Mike Wachowski. Wazowski. Like I can see it spelled, but I know what it is. But that's because I'm like trying to learn, or like culturally we've been exposed to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
Well, I mean, historically, we're the ones that have to assimilate, and we're the ones that have to like adhere, and white people don't have to.
Yeah. Oh, so I did want to point out the Spanish word of the day. If you could explain what the term is, ruquia. Can you explain what that is?
Ruquia. It basically means just like old person, like
almost like worn, like
yeah,
rode high and put away wet.
Yeah. Ya estás ruca. Yeah, you're old, you're grown. Yeah. When he called me ruquia that time, it's because he was like, hey, why don't you get rid of your cats?
Like he was genuinely concerned.
At the time, I had 2 cats. Yes. Tom and Walter, and he would be like, hey, when are you gonna get rid of your cats? Yeah, ya estás ruquia. And he's like, I had my first son when I was I don't even know how old he would have been in 2012, but he's 6 years older than me. So if I was 21, he was 26, 27. He was like, when I was your age, I already had my first son. And I was like, okay, first of all, you didn't give birth.
Right.
So there's that. And
was he married?
No. No. I think, no, he's not married. I think it's more of like.
But was the expectation like, do you think in your family, like, oh, you need to get married? Or do you think your family would have been okay if you and Ricky never got married and you had a kid? That's another thing too, is I feel like in Mexican households, the expectation for men and women is very different.
Oh, no, totally. But, well, I did get that from like aunts and uncles of like, and when are you going to get married? And like, what about kids and all that stuff? And then even when I started dating Ricardo, I'd be like, okay, well now what's next? Like immediately. I feel like I got that energy from outside relatives, except for my mom. Well, my mom was always very much like no, todavía no. Like she still has things to do. Like, you know, to her, I was over here living like 4 hours away, you know, living by myself, like
doing it,
having my job, supporting myself. And to her, she was like, no, let her. She still has things to do. So she's never, one thing I really appreciate is that she never pushed that on me. And especially because I'm her only daughter. So I know how much it would mean to her, you know, her only daughter getting married, having babies and all that stuff. But she never really put that on me.
Yeah.
Until I got married.
So now she wants.
Well, now she was like, like a friend of the family was like, ¿Y el bebé cuándo? I was like, girl, I got married yesterday. Like, it's like, calm down. And then
you feel like a child bride. You're like, I'm a child bride.
I don't want to be a teen mom, you guys. And so then after that, my mom would be like, no, but she's right though. Like, when? And I'm like, oh.
¿Pues cuándo?
She's like, that's what I've been saying. And I'm like, first of all, Mom, you have not been saying that.
Also, she has grandkids.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like she's wanting 4 grandkids. Like,
no, I mean, plenty. One brother alone gave her 7, 8 grandkids.
Damn.
I'm like, you don't need any more. I guess, you know, in us doing these, this being our 3rd podcast, I just kind of wanted to circle back to like what the whole point is of what we're trying to do here. And I was really thinking about it because one, it's like, ooh, it's fun. Let's try, let's see what all those red pillars are talking about.
Shout out
to all the
Please
men
subscribe.
who don't need podcasts. But since they have one, why not us? But to like really be thinking about, okay, what am I trying to get out of it? And again, what are you trying to get out of it? I think it's just community. Mostly because in what's going on right now and the fucking world is on fire, what I don't want is for my day-to-day, which is like honestly working from home. I don't want that to be like my only community.
Yeah.
Or like, I mean, can your job be your community? That's a question for next time.
I feel like not anymore. Maybe back in the day.
I mean, especially now that you're working from home and nobody's like,
yeah,
you're not really hanging out with anybody. And I feel like all of our friends are just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have friends like in San Antonio, whatever, like everybody's out there killing it, but we're just not together all the time. And so I think when I was really thinking about what I want this to be is, you know, if we're connecting with people who have shared similar experiences or have the same opinions or want to disagree with us, that's fine too. I wanted to find that.
Yeah.
So I know there's a 956 baddie in everyone.
Mm-hmm. Even if you're white.
Well, just kidding. But no,
we're
just
inclusive.
Like,
we're inclusive.
I know that like will resonate with some people, and I'm like all about finding that community.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, I think we had a discussion about like, well, we want to appeal to the right audience. And I think we came to the conclusion, like we want the right audience to find us, not necessarily the other way around.
I want our audience to be like who our friends would be.
Mm-hmm.
And who would joke around with us and talk shit and whatever. So that's kind of what I was really thinking about, like what this could mean.
Yeah. And I feel like, again, not to bring it back to the pandemic, but I think that did isolate a lot of people and kind of like reset them in a lot of ways where like you're not having those interactions all the time. And so like you see something funny or you have like an opinion and you're like, well, I can tell my partner about it, or I can try texting a friend or whatever, but it just doesn't feel the same. So I think this is a way of like us expressing ourselves and hopefully maybe finding other people who will like what we have to say. And I mean, maybe one day we'll be the kind of content creators where we can interact with people in like lives or like meet and greets or something like that. Where it's not just us like in a room recording.
My meet and greet would be at Taco Palenque.
With the taco parada.
With a parada.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for watching and listening. Bye. Bye.